I think it's so cool. You got to learn about Krishna Consciousness through your high school friends.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
In high school, I had heard about the Sunday feast. After hearing about it a few times, I decided to go.
Okay.
So I went, I think my junior year, and it kind of blew my mind. It was like stepping into a different world. During the pandemic, I got into the wisdom of the sages quite a bit. Once I stumbled upon Radha Swami, I feel like my appreciation and my depth for Krishna Consciousness just blew up.
We want to highlight every community member if possible, right? Just so we can get to know each other, because we can't all spend close quality time as much as we'd want to. So this is a great way to just highlight every one of our bhakti practitioners over here. From Alachua, Florida, this is Nectar Talks.
In collaboration with Krishna.com.
And in service to our bhakti community.
Haribo, Hare Krishna.
Come on in. Thanks for bearing with us. Jimmy.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Haribo.
I'm so glad you're here. Really honored. From hanging out with you, I think it's been a little over a year that we've been friends, and there's a
yeah.
I've gotten a lot of nectar just from hanging out with you, Jimmy. So I'm really happy.
Seems like it's been longer than a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I thought this would be such a great podcast because you're like, I think it's so cool. You got to learn about Krishna Consciousness through your high school friends, right?
Yeah.
You grew up in this area, and you went to Santa Fe High School. Is that where you first met some Krishna kids at the time?
Well, the first time I met a devotee was in youth basketball. Yeah,
Okay.
I guess it was like I was probably 12 or something, and I had a young man named Dhruva on my basketball team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he wore his he wore his beads and during the games and in practice, and he was a good guy, a competitor, definitely. Yeah, kind of like a warrior vibe, and
Yeah.
so that was like my first connection.
Gotcha.
And I don't know, you living in the community, you kind of know about the devotees.
Right.
You see the devotees around. Even I grew up in High Springs, but still knew about them. And then when I got to Santa Fe, there was a lot more. There was maybe a dozen devotees or so at the high school, and
What's the so just to get an insight, like, so you're growing up here and you're a kid, you're like 10, 12 years old, and so what was your idea of, would you call us the Hare Krishnas? Like tell us that from that side of the curtain, before you actually got into bhakti yourself, like how do the local people see us, because we're a huge part of this, this community. You can't go to Publix or Lowe's without seeing devotees everywhere.
Yeah.
What's the vibe out there about the devotees? Are people overall comfortable with having all these Hare Krishnas in their southern town, or what's been your experience with that? Not that it's good or bad. It is. What it is,
no, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I think it's good, and I don't know. Like I when Dhruva was on my basketball team, it just felt normal.
Yeah.
But I guess seeing devotees do Hari Nam, I think was definitely like an outside the box experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
is it a little bit like you're not sure about them until you meet one, and then it's like, these guys are normal? Is it a little bit like that?
That's exactly what happened. Yeah. When I started going to high school and became friends with Raghu, it really just, I don't know, just like grounded the situation and grounded my any kind of like judgments or
right.
Because he was well integrated like in both communities.
Mm-hmm.
Really was, I don't know. I've had a lot of friends that weren't devotees. Good soccer player, and he just had that vibe, and so yeah, I don't know. I almost feel like any of the some like the judgmental stuff was always like, just like I guess the airport, like.
Yeah, the caricature of
exactly
the Hare Krishna per the 80s movies.
Exactly, from the movies, exactly.
Yeah.
But so when I started going, and then I was also at Santa Fe High School with Gora, and I had an art class with him, and he was just like...
Raghu and Gora, great guys. I mean...
Yeah.
That's a great introduction to Krishna Consciousness right
he
there.
was the same way. Like, he
Right.
just had a magnetism, and he was friends with, he was 2 years older than me, and he was friends with, the cool crowd, and he was so poised and serious. Everyone had a lot of respect for him, and he was an unbelievable artist. And he also played soccer. I think he was really good too. I think he was better than Raghu, at least. He's a year older.
Yeah.
So they were just almost like the perfect representatives,
Nice.
devotee representatives. And they didn't. I don't think they had. Was tilak the
that's the Sika.
Sika. Yeah, they didn't wear Sika, and they didn't wear tilak, but they were totally. It was like a total. They were totally integrated, and
Yeah. I think that's probably an experience that a lot of people have, where, they hear about the Hare Krishna, and it's just kind of like this weird, cultish. What is it? And until you meet someone and you realize it's quite a normal person.
Yeah.
But what was your, I guess, spiritual background before? Would you consider yourself a bhakti practitioner at this point? How would you define yourself as a spiritualist right now?
Yes, I would consider myself a bhakti practitioner, and I I had two uncles that got into meditation right before I was born, and they were in my life quite a bit. And one of my uncles went into Ekankar, and the other one stayed Christian, but they were both big meditators. And my uncle, who was in Ekankar, would go to Nepal all the time and bring us stuff back.
What's Ekankar? I never heard of that.
It's like an Indian-based religion. A Western guy rediscovered it, and it comes from like a lineage of masters out of Nepal.
Okay.
Yeah, and
so there was a little bit of Eastern philosophy in your family that you were exposed to already.
Exactly. Yeah,
Right.
Ekankar is into reincarnation and
Right.
the soul, and so yeah, absolutely. And then my parents were probably like agnostic, but like good people, do unto others as you would want done to yourself,
Right,
and
right,
have
right.
respect, and definitely, gave me plenty of space, to explore and do what I wanted to do, and figure things out, and
That's great.
Yeah.
It's a nice. Sounds like a healthy upbringing that nurtured your desire for spiritual understanding and growth on that level, right? Sounds like.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So you and I met. I guess it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it
No.
was.
Oh,
Oh no, it was like a year ago actually.
yeah. During the pandemic, I got into the wisdom of the sages quite a bit,
Right.
and I was for like 2.5 years. I would join like almost every morning to Zoom, and I just love Raghunath and Kastuba, the hosts, and so yeah, like Raghunath came down for a weekend and was just telling about how much of a good time he had down here, and he had mentioned that there's a bhakti recovery group in person in Alachua.
Right.
During the podcast, during the show. And so then I emailed him, the next day and was like, "Can you tell me more about that?" And he gave me some people. He gave me someone to contact.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I didn't even realize that you had gotten my contact from Raghu. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Then I called you. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. And for those who are not familiar, the Bhakti Recovery Group is basically a program that's been going on now for, I think, 4 or 5 years, that combines the 12-step program for addictions with bhakti. And as devotees, I've discovered that it really gives the tools that, our movement kind of gives, like, yes, the regulative principles of freedom. We understand it through the philosophy, but how do we apply it? I feel like that hasn't, or the tools to fully manage that hasn't been readily available until the Bhakti Recovery Group. And as devotees, we don't need to have a life-threatening addiction to simply understand that we're trying to fill that God-sized hole with material enjoyment on whatever level. And this is an awesome program to help us address that and really make a change, because that program works. People know it worldwide. So that's how you and I met. So that was very cool.
And I will say that in high school, I had heard about the Sunday feast, and after hearing about it a few times, I decided to go.
Okay.
So I went. I think it was my junior year, and it kind of blew my mind. It was like stepping into a different world. Maybe kind of like stepping into India. And I think I went a couple times, and the food, it was very good, very different, and it almost kind of like, I almost feel like it jolted my consciousness a little bit, like, and I got one of the small booklets, and it had the picture of there's a baby, a toddler, and then a youth, and then a man.
Yeah, changing bodies, I think, is what they call that, or showing the process of the transmigration of the soul.
And then the guy in his grave like this, and
and
that blew my mind. That really, it kind of opened my mind to more than just mundane high school stuff, girls, sports. Which was amazing. It was amazing, and I can remember just like I was into journaling, and I can remember like journaling a lot about it and just kind of reflecting on it, and that was really neat. That was really neat. It was almost like it sparked a memory or something, and I had that booklet, and I would read it backward and forward, and just it was a powerful little booklet, or it is.
That's great. So you had that first experience at the Alachua temple, and tell us a little bit more about, what were some of the other milestones, you could say, in your spiritual path from then, and what was the next big thing that happened, would you say?
Yeah. Let's see.
What were some other powerful experiences that you had along the way that were kind of carrying you through to calling yourself a bhakti practitioner?
Yeah. When I got back from college, actually, there was a few of my friends got into big time into kirtan and Krishna Consciousness. A kid named Owen Ingley, and he they call him Vaishnavi, and he runs the Plentitude Farm in Puerto Rico. But
so these were like high school friends.
That
also were.
You going to UF?
They didn't grow up as devotees. They also kind of discovered it through the local community.
Exactly, they discovered it through the Krishna lunch, and But so when I had come back, there was like a few friends, and then or a few friends plus, and we're into kirtan, and it was almost like it had I don't know, like it had started to become popular, And I was like, wow, there, why go any further? I had started like getting into meditation and hatha yoga my senior year in college in 2002. So when I came back here in '05, I was just reading all kinds of stuff, Deepak Chopra, and just basic spiritual, stuff on spirituality, and hadn't, didn't forget about Krishna Consciousness, but it wasn't in the stuff I was reading. And so when I came back, that was kind of neat, just like hanging out with my friends and really kind of diving into it. Like,
what were some of the literatures that were meaningful to you from any
well, the Bhagavad Gita, that was probably the main one. I'm definitely like an essence guy, and I don't know, the Aishopanishads, and I guess it was Chant and Be Happy was another one that we liked, and then I've like, once I kind of stumbled upon Radhanath Swami, like, I feel like my appreciation and my depth for Krishna Consciousness just blew up. Because he like, and
Journey Home,
reading his book, reading his book, The Journey Home.
Yeah.
Just really feeling his bob, feeling how, I don't know, like how much he like honored and respected the spiritual path, his Srila Prabhupada,
and every tradition, for that matter.
And exactly, and coming out of it, communicating Krishna consciousness in a real exclusive way. I really respected that. But amazingly, but he loves his tradition so much, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, and then in the book, the stories are just inspiring and just like jaw dropping,
I just listened to the audio book for the first time recently. I had read the book twice, and then I listened to the audio book, and it's that book. I feel like every time I read it or listen to it, I discover new depths of how intimate that journey is, and like it did for you. I could rope in so many of us to really experience the reality of it.
And then also, like, on my path, as many people, there's a lot of challenges, and there's a lot of purification,
Right.
and there's confusion, and so there was I'm 43 now. There was a good amount of times where I felt like living in the same community as the Krishna lunch, the Krishna, the temple at the Krishna house, and then New Ramareti. I don't know, like, there's been a lot of times where I've kind of, didn't want to like socially interact with people, but needed to be around uplifting energy, or just needed to be in a vibration, and it's like I really started to use those little almost like mini pilgrimage spots as shelter all the time. Like just go to the lunch on campus, or actually I would go more often go to the lunch at the Krishna house. Just go and eat, and it would help shift the vibration.
Yeah.
And or go do a few rounds of japa, just walking, and this is when I lived in Gainesville, walking around just around the property at the little Krishna house,
Yeah.
So that's almost been amazing. Just it's like like I really look at it like an oasis. There's like Srila Prabhupada has created a ISKCON, and then in this area there's a few oases.
Yeah,
These spiritual oases.
I love that you present it that way, that you can go on a little mini pilgrimage in all these places. I always admire, when we get to hang out, how you really apply this whole package of bhakti in your daily life. Like, I'm like, man, Jimmy, like, he's doing it. Like, he goes to the temple to find solace. Like, I don't do that. I just dwell in my solace. I'm just like,
Yeah.
And I get frustrated that somehow, I'm trying to practice, and you're able to find shelter the way I'm still working on that. So I really admire that.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Yeah. Like, it's just
and you go to all these places, and I know you all often mention the Temple of the Universe, which is a place that I hadn't discovered until like last year. I think I went there for the first time, and a lot of people go there. Tell us a little bit about what you get from going to see Mickey Singer over there.
Yeah, a lot of chanting, a lot of singing, which that's probably one of the main thing that I really appreciate about that. And I go there often.
What's the program over there? Because when I went, it wasn't at the time of a program, but they have like a talk once a week.
There's a talk 3 times a week.
Okay.
Mickey gives a talk, like a Monday, Thursday, and Sunday, and then there's artis every morning and every evening. And then they give like a free yoga twice a week. Yeah, like a lot of sincere seekers and people with great intentions, and like a lot of uplifting energy, a lot of support, and I see the similarities I see with the Temple of the Universe and the Krishna Temple is they give you space. You go there and people aren't like all in your business,
right?
Trying to like this social like drama kind of area. It doesn't seem to be like that's a big part of it. Like if you just want to be there just to be in the vibration and sing and there's deities there too, and there's an altar and kind of connect with the altar, then you can do that. Just like at New Ramareti, and I don't know. I think that's kind of like that's appealing. Yeah.
I'll tell you a story. The time that I went there, my dad was visiting. It was the last year he was here, and that morning, I decided to do exactly kind of what you're mentioning. That there's all these places of pilgrimage. I was like, you know what? I've never been to that canvas church that's by Lowe's. The big, it's kind of like it's like the mega church of Alachua.
Yeah.
And I was like, my dad's never been to the Narayan Maharaj temple, and I've never been to the Temple of the Universe. So I was like, I'm gonna go on a pilgrimage with my dad this morning. And we went to every place. We went to our temple. I guess we didn't go to Krishna House because it was in Gainesville, but it was an amazing experience. And there's always all this drama in the background of this sangha, that sangha. So I'll admit, I was a little nervous about it. When we got to the Narayan Maharaj temple, there's this devotee, I forget his name. He's like, Yogeshwar, you're here, and we just finished serving like all I have no prasadam to give to you. And he was devastated. And I was like, that is all I needed to see. This is just a devotee so sincerely wanting to serve another devotee. And it just erased whatever. I understand if you're on a managerial level, you got all kinds of issues you got to deal with. But for me, that was so healing to see, like, we don't need to worry about all this stuff. As practitioners, it's just like, just appreciate people on their spiritual paths. And then we went to the Canvas Church. And I was blown away by the level of technology that they have in there. And the guy was telling me, yep, we have every Sunday, one service at 9, one service at 11, and it's the exact same service twice. They do it back to back so that they can serve the entire community on Sundays. They do the exact same service twice with the same speech and everything. And yeah, then we went to the Temple of the Universe, and like you said, I felt like that was an atmosphere where, yeah, I had space. I had space there to just be quiet and appreciate all the different gurus that they had on display, and just beautiful space. So
Yeah.
So I love it. I think it's amazing that in this little town of Alachua, you can find so much spiritual wealth in not only as far as infrastructure, but just the people who are practicing. Oh, and when we were at Temple of the Universe, there was one lady there who was sitting in meditation, super, her back was straight and totally quiet, and we were just like tiptoeing around. And then she came out as we were leaving, and my dad asked her, hey, if you don't mind me asking, like, what brought you to this place? And she said, well, actually, it was through recovery. I got on the path of recovery and working the 12 steps, and eventually I decided I need to come here, and I was just trying to establish the Bhakti recovery group at that time, so I was like, wow, that's Krishna's little like smile on the whole thing,
Wow. Yeah.
So to me, Jimmy, you're like a beautiful representation of someone who can just tap into all these places, and you're just like, you're taking it all in. You're just learning and applying, and just in the last year that we've been friends, I really appreciate how much you're so driven on that level, and every time we check in, when you're having a hard time, we always go right to the spiritual foundation. Okay, how do we get through this? By applying Krishna's philosophy. So I really appreciate that.
No, and then like it's like, I don't know. It is good to I guess like explore and be open, but I would and I don't know. I guess I still feel like I'm somewhat of a hybrid. It's like, this is like, America's not like India. We don't have like hundreds or thousands of years of tradition,
Right.
And so I do feel like I have like a little bit of a new age spirituality practice, and that's but it has a lot of Gaudiya Vaishnava. How do you say Gaudiya Vaishnavism?
Yeah.
Influence, and like I think it was probably, I guess, 3 or 4 years ago when I started connecting with the deities, which was kind of neat. I love the simplicity of just your mind and your feelings and your senses can really, it's not always, they can often be excited and then but just to go and just put your eyes on the deities and the flowers and the outfits, and just kind of I don't know, like just kind of gently look at the details. It's it's special. It's special.
It's just exposing yourself to Krishna's spiritual energy and letting it take over.
And that's like one thing, or one of a few things where with bhakti is just how they kind of, in a sense, figured out like every area in life, everything is spiritual, can be spiritual, is spiritual.
Yeah.
Whether it's eating or deities, like listening to talks, listening to music. It's like, that's really neat. Just like so many angles to to daily hour by hour, connect with Krishna.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's like the energy, just like the sunshine is always there, and it's up to us. Are we going to stay in a shadowed area? Or are we going to go and expose ourselves to it? And we just have to remember, let's take it. Let's get in the sunshine.
And then, like, I almost feel like, like Krishna Consciousness is like leading the world in innovative and engaging podcasts too. Like, especially with my generation, it's like, I think that the past 3 years is I don't know, maybe, like I've, there's like the Wisdom of the Sages, Chaitanya Charan's podcast, a lot of stuff that comes out of the Bhakti Center, and Nectar Talks. I listen to the first 9-1, and so it's like during my
there's
day.
One in the UK.
Oh yeah,
I forget the name, but there's.
Yeah, and then so it's like during the day, it's like I'm listening to something's in the background, a cool, uplifting, conversation.
Right.
Talking about the Bhagavatam or the Gita, and
I agree that thank
it's not
God,
boring.
Thank
it's like
God
engaging.
that somehow COVID caused this to happen, but not everyone can sit in a Bhagavatam class every day. Like that's what we should do, but direct literature study it's quite intellectual, So hearing people discussing it takes it down a notch where it's a lot more manageable. You can process it in a kind of a lighter way, and I agree. That's what the podcasts are doing.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's amazing.
So, do you have like some kind of practices that you do on a regular basis in your life? Like, how do you try to apply this stuff in your routine?
Yeah, like I get up in the morning, and I would say my main meditation is like a silent mantra meditation. Probably like 30 minutes in the morning. I'll do that, and then like I'll also usually sometime during the day, I like to do japa. I only do a few rounds, a couple of rounds, 2 or 3 rounds, and then I think I probably listen to a couple hours of some kind of talk. And then like you mentioned the Temple of the Universe. I go there like every evening for kirtan, and I'm big into hatha yoga, so I'm doing that like 4 or 5 times a week.
Yeah,
and then
you're an example when it comes to working out.
Yeah.
I'll never forget when we went to the gym in Gainesville together, and that's the other thing I love about you. Like, you knew so many people and had so many beautiful exchanges where I could tell people just were so comfortable. They were so happy to see you, and you were just like giving so many good vibes to everyone you met at the gym and that you knew. And I was like,
well, thank you.
Jimmy's the man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. No, and then I do like 15-minute pranayama every day, and I like to take, and I'll usually take a walk every day and just and pray or just kind of contemplate. No, you know what? I feel like I have room to grow with the structure of my personal sadhana. It's okay, but I think I want to make it more methodical. I have a certain amount of method to it, but I do feel like it can be a little bit. Sometimes I let my whim get in there a little much, but
yeah. So it's not like super structured, but from what I can tell, you do like in many ways so much more than I do. But because it's like it's a varied, I feel like it's a really good overall mix of different, between your watching your physical, necessities, the pranayama on a regular basis, mantra, kirtan, listening to lectures. I mean, it's an incredible, like, even if it's not like I do this every day at the same hour.
Right.
Within whatever, the week, the month, like, you're doing such a good, balanced variety of practices. And I think that's just amazing. That's awesome.
I appreciate that.
To be really including that as part of your life routine.
And listening to a lot of kirtan too.
Yeah.
I love the Mayapurs.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
Yeah. So that's yeah.
Cool. Jimmy, I think this is already like such a beautiful exposure of, like, someone who met the devotees. And of course, the credit is all yours. Like, you're this beautiful spiritual person, and it's awesome to learn about your journey. In closing, like, what are some spiritual aspirations or just life aspirations that you are working on right now, or that you're wanting for yourself in the future?
Yeah, like, I don't know, like, I really like, Radhanath Swami talks about purifying the heart, and it's almost like a pole star, just trying to, like that, like, have that intention to, I feel like we all, the Gita says it, we have, like, we're full of spirit, we're full of Shakti already, and it's like we've created these blocks. So, purifying and getting rid of the false stuff, getting rid of the, the BS, and like, and being happy, enjoying life, being enthusiastic for life, being inspired,
Wow.
Like, I think that's everything. It doesn't get better than that, like, just like, waking up in the morning and just being excited, like, you get little taste of that, but, Krishna says that's the truth, and like, we're living in the opposite of that, and it's like, so yeah, like, I think it's just like, that increasing and just, and it's just increasing that Krishna prema, and I love when I heard it's like, it's beyond what you can even imagine how awesome it is and sublime. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Give me some of that, give me that, like, like, I don't know. So, and just like, just being thankful for a lot of simple things, and really, like, just noticing the beauty, like, everywhere, like, this is like everything's created by Krishna, and it's kind of like amazing. You think about space, you think about the forests, you think about, the systems that, water the forests, and flowers, and the thousands of different varieties, and the thousands of flavors, and different foods, and different personalities. It's like, so it's like, and then helping, serving, helping people, because people, there's a lot of trauma, a lot of challenges everywhere. Everyone, and everyone's like, like, I don't know, like, so I guess, just increasing that quality of life, and then helping others, and it's really like, I mean, you know how it is when things shift out of that weight, out of that struggle, and then into that beauty, and into that hope, and it's just everything, Yeah, it's everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is an amazing takeaway. I mean, I'm trying to, like, keep track on my fingers of all the things you just said. I mean, keep working on our purification, be excited about it, have gratitude, see the beauty everywhere, and try to be of service to others. Like, I think those are the ultimate. You can't have better goals than that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I could tell that just came from your heart. Like, you mean every one of those things, and you're doing it, you're experiencing it, you're feeling it, and you're inspiring me, that's for sure, every time I get to spend time with you.
Well, I appreciate that. Ditto. Yeah. You're a great association. Yeah.
All right, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks a lot. That was great.
The nectar, baby.
I think we got some nectar out of this talk. You guys both owe Jimmy a massage now, because his nerves doubled in the time of the sound check.
It's casual.